Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste. We have seen in the last three parts the first 7 Āvarana-s of Śricakra and the first 7 Mudras of Srividya Dasa Mudra order. Now we shall see the last 2 Avarana-s of Śricakra, which are the most important ones. The 8th Avarana is the inner triangle, the primary triangle. It is known as Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakra, meaning the giver of all accomplishments. And the Mudra Devi here is known as Sarva Bija Mudra. These are the relevant verses in Yoginī Hṛdayam that mentions about this subchakra and the mudra. Shivashakti samashlesha spurad vyomantare punaha prakashayati vishwam sa sukshma rupa sthitam sada bija rupa mahamudra sarva siddhimaye sthita. Quite obscure and enigmatic are the subtle principles behind these Avarana-s of Śricakra and the Mudras. All those hidden mysteries have been deciphered to a large extent by the great masterly commentators Śrī Amṛtānandanātha and Śrī Bhāskararāya. When we were talking about the Sarva-Khejari Mudra, the undiluted and undifferentiated pure consciousness, Shuddha Jnana Rupa Samvit Shakti, arising from the union of Shiva and Shakti was mentioned, right? That same Shakti is mentioned to be in the form of seed, in the form of Bija. What is that Bija? That is what Yoginī Hṛdayam explains in the verses we just saw. Shivashakti samashlesha spurad vyomantare punaha prakashayati vishwam sa sukshma rupa sthitam sada bija rupa mahamudra. That is, in the rapturous throb of the union of Shiva and Shakti, Shivashakti samashlesha spurana. And from that profound space of emptiness, each creation of the universe keeps appearing repeatedly in a subtle seed form. Bija Rupa. Prakashayati Vishwa. Here Prakashana means bringing out or emanating. That is, in the Mahabindu known as Kamakala, which results from the union of Shiva and Shakti, the universes and the life particles that are going to be created again and again are contained in their causal form of a seed. Śrī Bhāskararāya further clarifies in Setubandham, Vastuto Vyomno api srishti antargatattvena bijadashayam tat utpatter abhavena shivashaktiyor garbha ityeva vivakshitam. That is, vastuto. Actually, this means that even before the creation of the universe and the living beings, everything remained in a seed form, bijadasha, in the subtle space of the womb of Shiva and Shakti fusion. This is the seed of the universes, cosmos, to be created multiple times in future. Bhavi Charachara Vishwotpatti Bija. And this is what the name of the mudra, Sarva Bija Mudra, indicates. The Bija, the seed responsible for the next creation of universe, Siddhi of universe after each dissolution or Mahapralaya. Siddhi means accomplishment or cause to effect. Ācārya Śrī Kshemarāja in his Ishvara Pratyabhijñā Hṛdaya says, Chitihi Swatantrata Vishwasiddhi Hetuhu. That is, the free will of supreme consciousness, Samvid, which is Chiti, is the cause for bringing the world to effect. Vishwa Siddhi Hetu. Siddhi means not only the creation but also its preservation and its final dissolution. That is the Siddhi, which the name of this 8th Avarana, Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakram, suggests. The first inner triangle of the Srichakram is this 8th Avarana, known as Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakram, and the Mudra Devi here is Sarva Bija Mudra. The two hands, right Shiva and left Shakti, are united, and the small fingers are held tightly by the ring fingers. The two middle fingers are stretched straight like this. The space created in the curved shape of thumbs and the index fingers indicates the subtle space, Sukshma Kasha, Paristhita Vakrakara Tarjanyangushta Yugala Agra Samashlesha Antarala Pratiyamana Gaganantarala. And the straightened and aligned middle fingers imply the universe about to be created in the causal form of a seed, bija. Karana tavanmatradaya sthitam vishvam prakashayanti bija mudra. Like this. Therefore, Sarva Bija Mudra in Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakram means that the seed of the universes arising out of the union of Shiva and Shakti gives the accomplishment or the successful completion of the creation, preservation and dissolution of universes again and again in a recurring cycle. I hope it is clear. Then, next Avarana. When one enters Srichakram from outside, the last and the innermost locus is the 9th and the last Avarana, that is Bindu. Bindu is known as Sarvanandamaya Chakra. It means abounding with bliss. And the Mudra Shakti here is known as Sarva Yoni Mudra. Prakasha, luminosity, is the nature of Shiva, and the dynamic aspect of this luminosity, Vimarsha, is Shakti. This is of course a basic principle known to all. The dynamic aspect called Vimarsha is the throb which suggests flow or movement. In his Parapraveshika, Ācārya Śrī Kshemarāja says, Vimarsho nama Vishvakarena Vishwa Prakashena Vishwa Samharena cha Akritrimaham iti Vispuranam. That is, Vimarsha means the repeated and endless throb or flash of creation, preservation and dissolution of the universe rising from the inner I consciousness of Shiva. She is Shakti, who has taken responsibility for the creation, sustenance and reabsorption of the universe. Shakti as Mother, Ambika, is the progenitor of the universe, and symbolically Yoni Mudra represents the source of generation, which contains the seed, the bija of the universe. It is the most sacred of all mudras, and it represents the Supreme Mother Goddess herself. It is said, Yoni Mudra Kala Rupa. That is, Yoni Mudra is the Kama Kala, which marks the state of supreme bliss in the union of Shiva and Shakti. Yoginī Hṛdayam defines Sarva Yoni Mudra thus: Sampurnasya prakashasya labha bhumi riyam punaha Yoni Mudra Kala Rupa Sarvananda Maye Sthita. Sampurnasya prakashasya labha bhumi riyam punaha. It is the ultimate abode of Shiva, who is the Prakasha Rupa, that is Shiva, when he assumes the form of basic elements, Pancha Bhutas, as well as the living beings, that is Jivas. Shakti as consciousness activates the universe and all the living beings in this worldly dimension. That is the location of Yoni as the Prabhavasthana, or the place of origin, symbolized by the central Bindu in Srichakra. As I said earlier, the Bindu is the portal or the entry gate for the Supreme Consciousness, Chit Shakti, to enter into the cosmic dimension, Vyavaharika Dasha, from the primordial, non-differentiated plane called Paramarthika Dasha. Since it is also the place for the supreme bliss, Parama Ananda of Sri Parameshwara, this Avarana is known as Sarva Anandamaya Chakra, the abode of eternal bliss. A definition of mudra that we had seen earlier is Mudam Rati iti Mudra, that is, one that brings bliss. And this Avarana, the Bindusthana of Srichakram, represents that supreme bliss, which is also the cause of the stir or the dynamism of this universe. Ananda Shakti Saivokta Yatha Vishwam Vijrumbhate, by which this universe moves or vibrates. Sarvayoni Mudra is a very sacred and important mudra in the worship of Parashakti in her aspect of Sri Mahatripura Sundari through Srichakra Nava-Avarana Puja. It is said that this mudra should not be exposed in front of others and should be exhibited only while in solitary worship of Srichakram, as it represents the very organ of creation of Mother Goddess. Matruyoni Pratirupa Smruta Yoni Mudra Prachannena Aradhayet. Not only this mudra, but for all the mudras, mantras and yantras in Tantric worship, public display is prohibited. Padma Samhita says that Prayoktavya cha rahasi na bahirjana samsadi vimarsha rupini mantra mandala mudrana guptiresha sanatani. This Yoni Mudra points out that the Vama, Jyeshtha and Raudri Shaktis as volition, cognition and action, Ichha, Jnana, Kriya, form the primary triangle, and Parashakti as Vimarsha Rupini is in the central Bindu as the place of origin, source of all living beings. Yoni Rupa Mudra, Yoni Mudra, Yonihi Trikonam, Vamadi, Ichchadi Shakti Traya Samarasya Rupa, Antas Trikona, Antarala Rupini, Vimarsha Shakti Rupa. The method of displaying this mudra is explained in the Dīpikā commentary of Śrī Amṛtānandanātha in these words: which I shall read fully for the sake of authentication, and also if anyone is interested to know the description from the source text. Vamecharupa vakra tarjani dvaya agra grihita vyasta anamika dvaya agra parigata jeshtha jnanamaya ruju samyukta madhyamadvaya madhyagata raudri kriyatma kanishthika dvaya agra yojita sampurna prakasha rupa ankushta dvaya agra rupa vimarsha kala rupa mayi yoni mudra. The index and ring fingers are stretched out and crossed. The two index fingers that encircle and hold the two ring fingers signify Vama, representing power of volition, Ichha Shakti. Vama is of hook shaped, which we understood earlier. The two middle fingers that are ejected and kept straight signify Jeshta, representing Jnana Shakti. The two little fingers inside the two middle fingers signify Raudri, representing Kriya Shakti. And the tip of thumbs placed by the side of the Rudra Shakti, that is the small fingers, stand for Prakasha Rupa Shivamsha, that is the luminous Shiva aspect. And the whole mudra arrived like this is the Vimarsha Kala Rupa Mayi Yoni Mudra, that is the Yoni Mudra signifying the dynamic Shakti aspect. This is Yoni Mudra. So, Sarva Yoni Mudra in Sarvanandamaya Chakram therefore means that the supreme bliss emanating out of the union of Shiva and Shakti is the originating cause or source for this universe and its dynamic functioning. There ends the description of Nine Āvaraṇa-s and the Nine Mudras. We saw about the Sarva Trikhanda Mudra, the 10th Mudra of the Dasa Mudra group in the beginning itself. The secret and subtle importance of Sarva Trikhanda Mudra has been explained in the Setubandham commentary by Śrī Bhāskararāya in the following words. Vāmāditraya samashti rūpattvāt tāha prakāśamśā dakshināṅgulayah ichhāditraya samashti rūpattvāt tā vimarshamsha vāmāṅgulayah tāsām ekatra samyojanād īkshanasya tādrusha tridaya yugala aikya rūpatā cheti vāsanā dhvanitetyahuhu. That is, the right hand fingers Dakshināṅgulayah represent the combination of three Shaktis, Vama, Jeshtha and Raudri. Vama Angulayah, that is the left hand fingers, represent the three Shaktis, Ichha, Jnana, Kriya. When both these sets are united, it indicates the three section of divine activity, that is creation, protection and dissolution of the universe, which is the outcome of Shiva Shakti amalgam, and it gets activated and the supreme consciousness Parashakti in the form of Sri Mahatripura Sundari dominates the three functions Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, and also in everything in this worldly dimension that are in three parts. Tritaya. That is what the Sarva Trikhanda Mudra symbolizes. Like this, the three parts are distinctly shown as three segments in this mudra. This is how the Tantric text Yoginī Hṛdayam its first part Chakra Sangetam, and the learned masters Śrī Amṛtānandanātha and Śrī Bhāskararāya in their commentaries have explained the inner significance and the esoteric importance of the 9 Āvaraṇa-s of Śricakra and the 10 Śrīvidyā Mudra-s. Thank you. Namaste.